milkshake wasted. In about an hour and a half, my stomach gonna be like, what? But let me live my life. Let me do me. Intestines. Hey to world, it's me, Evelyn. I don't really have one story in particular. I just have like a smorgasbord, you know what I'm saying? A plethora, if you will, of stories. Just little ditties, just little splish splashes here and there. And they all have to do with identifying as African or African American or whatever the heck I'm supposed to be, right? Number one, when I was, I want to say 4. I don't know why I remember this so vividly. This was before Tumblr, before Tumblr justice, Tumblr social justice, but you know, I feel like kids have a way of just knowing when stuff is wrong, when stuff just don't really be like, So I'm spending the night at my friend Tara's house, and I don't know if this is an African thing or a black people thing. I didn't really spend the night at people's houses, like that wasn't a thing. So I spent the night at her house. This was like an amazing event. Like, what? I'm about to spend the night at somebody's house. We have our sleeping bags wrapped. Tara is white. I feel like she's Italian, but I don't actually remember. When you're little, who knows what Italian is? Anyway, she was beige, okay? Like I said, it's a really short little ditty, short little splash of a story. But it's telling of the rest of my life. So we're about to go to sleep, and I said, let's get some shut-eye. I think I had heard it maybe like in a movie or something. I wasn't quite reading age, I don't think. So I don't think I read it anywhere. If you're not familiar with the phrase, to get some shut-eye means to go to sleep, to close your eyes, to sleep. Let's get some shut-eye. And Tara turned to me, the most innocent, wide-eyed 4-year-old eyes, and said, "Is that an African saying?" And even then, 4-year-old Evelyn was like, huh? Like, it's not an African saying. I spoke English. How can it be an African saying of any country when I spoke English? I don't remember what I actually said after that. I don't remember, but I just remember that feeling of, what are you talking about? Is it an African saying? Am I supposed to speak in sayings now? One of my favorite teachers growing up was Mr. Woolley, who taught AP History. Shout out to you, Mr. Woolley, if you're watching this. I don't know if you're watching this, what up? One of the reasons he was one of my favorite teachers was because he actually called me by my last name. If you have a last name that is not English or a generic American acceptable name, people don't really take the time to understand how to say your name. But not only did he take the time to learn how to pronounce my name, he called me by my last name. Like, he wouldn't call me Evelyn. I'm like, you know what? I respect that. Mr. Woolley, I don't know if you know that what you did, whether deliberate or not, I don't know if you know that it had an effect on me, but it had an effect on me. Can you imagine living in a world where people just refuse? They just give up on your name? That does something to a kid. But you said no. I'm going to work through this silent N, through letters that are supposed to have squigglies, but we took them out because it was confusing to the white man. I'm going to work through all of that and call you by your last name. Thank you, Mr. Woolley. Thank you. Now, I don't even remember if this next story took place in his class. It was a history class of some sort. I don't really remember whose it was. Y'all. So we recreated. Are you ready? Are you ready, YouTube world? We recreated the slave ship, like, arrangement scenario. I don't know what part of the curriculum this was. They literally turned the lights off. We pushed all the desks to the side, and we laid down like this, like feet to head, to try and get a semblance, I guess, of what it was like to be on a slave ship. Now, at that point, I should have just walked out of the class. I'm not really too much here for recreating slave ship body arrangements. And then the teacher, again, I don't remember who it was, would like narrate the book that we were reading, and it was just talking about the horrible conditions, dysentery, and whatever. And I'm like, this is kind of emotionally scarring. Like, why are we doing this? The thing is, it's emotionally scarring to the black people. The white people are just sitting there like, okay, okay, Like, there is absolutely nothing that laying on the ground in the dark in a classroom could do to shake you to your inner core, to make you sympathize with a slave, if you're white. What I want to know from you is, do you have any hilariously painful stories relating to race? You don't have to be black, obviously. Is you brown? You know what I'm saying? You Mexican? And you have to laugh to get through the pain. If I didn't laugh, I'd probably die. That got dark. See you on the internet somewhere. Bye!
Ati, is that an African saying? What do I look like, eh?